Okay, I'm out here in my small town. Now, you have to understand, my town has a population of maybe 1,200, 900 people. I mean, really, there's nobody here. I mean, you got one grocery store, we got one pizza joint. I mean, there's really not much in this little town. All of a sudden, we get notice today that our sheriff has actually caught the bug. So he's quarantined right now. Now, keep in mind, our sheriff talks to a lot of deputies. Apparently, they told me, I made a phone call, and they told me that they've all been tested. Which really had me scratching my head, because I was like, well, if they do have it, then it's not going to show up for another 12 days or so, right? But they've been tested, so everything's okay. That made no sense to me. And then, all of a sudden, we've got a bunch of people in front of my courthouse, and they're out here expressing their First Amendment rights, which is cool. And it's pretty impressive. But what I don't understand, we do have some police walking down the street. We have a police car. And I'm not understanding this. Why do the police have to be outside of somebody expressing their First Amendment rights? To me, that's not right. To me, they should be off doing their job. There's no crime being committed here. There's a bunch of people walking around with signs and protesting, but there's no crime being committed whatsoever. So why are the police even here? Why is there even a police presence? It's a peaceful demonstration that I can see. To me, the cops should be on their merry way. Go out fighting crime or doing whatever they do. But they shouldn't be sitting here watching these people as if they're criminals. These aren't criminals. These are people exercising their First Amendment rights. Whether I like it, whether you like it, it doesn't matter. The point is, every American has that right. And it doesn't matter who it is, we should never infringe on those rights, because someday we may be one of those people out there doing the same thing, and a lot of people may not agree with us. But one thing's for sure, this really shook up my town. When it posted on Facebook and it started going live, I was really surprised at all the comments I was reading. Some of the comments had actually said, why are they even doing this? We don't have none of this here. I mean, everybody gets along. And I was like, wow, that is really naive. It really is. And they're acting like our little town is so perfect and it doesn't go on here, which is not true. I've seen it in my little town. It goes on. There are people that judge people because of color, skin, clothes, money, everything in my little town. I mean, there's even been country songs that have been made on it. I've never seen so many people that didn't know what was going on. And then I even seen people typing in the comment section, they were actually saying that they should be locked up. I can't believe they're out there. I was really surprised. This is their First Amendment. They have a right to do this. And that's all there is to it. Whether people agree with it or whether they don't. I've seen many people go out and protest with their gun rights. And I've seen many people against that, which makes no sense to me, when that's actually part of your Second Amendment. I'm beginning to wonder if anybody really understands what their rights are, or what they can do in their society or in their state or anywhere for that matter. It's not making any sense to me. Somebody ripples the water a little bit and everybody's ready to jump all over them and say, oh, we need to pick them up and charge them. For what? And there was one person that had profanity on their sign, and oh, that lit them off in Facebook big time. Oh, they call that peaceful? When they look at that, they got profanity. Oh, they got all bent out of shape because they had some profanity. And I couldn't help myself, but I had to type it. I says, that girl with the pink ribbon going around her black shorts offends me. That's it. They need to pick her up and put her in jail. I had about 30 people click and laugh. I mean, because that's what it reminded me of. And there's actually no law whatsoever that you can't put profanity on a sign when you're demonstrating with your First Amendment rights, by the way. I actually looked it up. So I was pretty surprised. But then people were saying, wow, that's ignorant. Maybe they have to get their point across. I mean, you're not protesting because you're a happy person. I mean, you got to think, like, we're in, I don't even know what we are today. What's my truck say? It's 91 degrees Fahrenheit is what my truck says right now. And I mean, I'm sweating. whew, it's hot. It feels more like 100. The humidity is just crazy here in Tennessee. But it's just really, really wrong the way people reacted. So as far as I'm concerned, they need to do this in my small town, because they definitely need to open up a conversation and start educating people. Maybe they need it in the schools to start educating what this is all about. Because to ignore it is foolish. And a lot of these people are young people. I mean, they look like they're in their 20s, maybe even some are like 16 years old. And what really surprises me, I even seen people on there saying, oh, they look like a bunch of young people. And I was like shaking my head, and I was thinking, and I had to read another comment. I was like shaking my head, and I actually posted, I'd hate to tell you people this, but the First Amendment right applies to all Americans, whether you're old or young. Like, that made a difference because they're young. I mean, it made no sense. And other people were making comments saying, oh, they're too far on the left, they don't know what they're doing. And I was just thinking, and I should have wrote another comment, but I didn't. I was just thinking, like, well, why don't you go talk to them? They're not going to run away. They'll listen to you. Why don't you go down and give them some education and see what they say? And maybe you will help educate them. I've got some other guy driving around in a pickup truck with all kinds of flags on his truck. He keeps driving around the block over there. Originally around 11:30, there was only about 3 people that showed up. And I thought that was kind of funny too, because this was being streamed on Facebook for a while. And they were turning around and saying, look at that, only 3 people showed up, ha ha ha. Well, they got a big surprise, because from what I can see right now, and I'll try and get a shot at it, I'll drive by. But what I can see, it's looking like maybe, I don't know, 10, 20. Looks like quite a few people held up. And I give them credit. I mean, like I said, it's 91, it's hot out there. And I did type in the Facebook chat, I says, you're all being so ignorant to these people that are exercising their First Amendment rights. What you should be doing is showing them what type of love we have in our county. And you guys should bring down some bottled water to these young people, because they're going to dehydrate down there if they don't get some water. And all of a sudden, it was like, I don't know, 20 minutes later or so, somebody showed up with a couple cases of water, and I was like, now that's what I'm talking about. Instead of being negative toward these young people, be positive. And change it to where things are better. If these people believe this is going on in our small town, and I actually believe they're right, then we have a lot of things to change as older people. We need to educate these people, or maybe we need to learn from them. Because, and I'm trying to refrain from using certain words, so this is making this video hard, but there is hatred in this town toward other people, and that's the sad part. And I wish it wasn't like that, but it truly is. But it is a hot day for these young people to be standing out there, and oh my God, they are exercising their First Amendment rights, and I am just so impressed with them. Not for the movement itself. I am more impressed with, they took the time to contact the sheriff. They took the time to contact all the people they needed to contact. They made the signs. They're showing up on a hot, muggy day. I mean, they could have did this a month from now when it cools off. But no, they are out here on a super hot, muggy day, is what they are. And it's just so impressive that these young people put all this together to where they're doing all this. And I think that's amazing. I never actually did that. Now, since I started recording here, and I'm kind of quite a ways back, I mean, I've got my big camera out with the big zoom. I'm actually recording 800 millimeters away, and it looks like it's doing pretty good. But I actually had a white truck pull up in front of me here and try to prevent me from recording this, and I was quite amazed by that. It's not doing anything, because I can shoot right over top of his truck, so it didn't make a difference. And it does seem to be a little bit windy today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my drone out. I'm going to put my drone in here, and I'll see if we can get some aerial coverage of what's actually going on here. Okay, I put the drone up, and I got some drone coverage. What was interesting is we put the drone up, and then we noticed there was another drone Yeah, there was another drone. He was quite a ways up though, and he was right above them, which actually is against the rules of running a drone, because you're not allowed to have a drone over top of people. And if your drone breaks or runs out of battery power or falls out of the sky, I mean, it's a good rule because it very well could land on somebody. Now, I had my drone off over top of a building in front of me. I was literally probably 2 feet above the building. So if my drone was to crash or something would happen to my drone, it would have landed right on top of the building, which would have made it a pain to get the drone. But at least that way I knew I wasn't going to land on top of anybody. And I did get some pretty cool drone shots. The people look like midgets, but it's kind of cool to see it from basically a different angle. And I was only up there for maybe about 4 minutes. It does look like quite a few people have showed up. And it does look pretty peaceful. But my hat goes off to them. I mean, my hat literally does go off to them, because to stand out there in 92 Fahrenheit, it's like 100 degrees here. I mean, to stand out, and the humidity is ridiculous. To stand out there and do that, I think that's just awesome. Exercising your First Amendment rights like that. They should space up a little bit more because of what's going on. And I'm sure a lot of people would debate, why are they doing this with, you know, this thing going on. But hey, it is what it is, and obviously people are not going to be kept indoors. They've made that more than apparent. It's spreading like wildfire. I guess it's just a matter of time before we all get it. I don't know. I just try to do my best not to. And I hope you guys are trying to stay safe, wearing your mask, try not to go out. Remember, the more you put yourself out there and the more you get into the crowds, the higher chance of you getting it. But our sheriff has it. So I'm just kind of curious how many people he infected. And we ain't going to know that for another couple of weeks. So, but anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. And hope you enjoyed the drone footage. And I can't believe this is actually happening in my small town. Like I said, there's like 1,200, 900 people here. So it looks like these, it looks like this is starting to spread into the smaller towns now. And it looks like if you're in a small town, it very well may be in your town next. Catch you guys on the next one.